Most doctors will never tell you this, but after 50, the real reason you feel weaker, stiffer, and more exhausted after even light activity has absolutely nothing to do with your muscles. It has everything to do with your nervous system quietly losing its ability to switch those muscles on. And that means every heavy workout you push through is loading joints that have no proper muscular protection around them. You are not getting older faster than you should be. Your training just has not caught up with what your body actually needs right now. By the end of this video, you will have a complete 3-week plan using 3 Shaolin isometric holds, and you only need 5 minutes a day to start seeing real results. As a pharmacist, I work with patients every week who are in this exact position, pushing through pain, loading their joints, and wondering why nothing is getting better. I had one patient, 58 years old, a former runner, who came in completely convinced he needed knee surgery. His GP had told him to rest, his physio had told him to stretch, and he had done both for months with zero improvement. 3 weeks after I introduced him to a single isometric hold, his pain had dropped by more than half. No surgery, no medication, just the right signal sent to the right muscles at the right time. What he had was not a structural problem, it was a motor control problem, and that distinction changes everything about how you should be training at our age. The first hold is the horse stance, and it is the foundation of Shaolin strength training for a reason. When your hips feel stiff, the instinct most of us have is to stretch them. But here is what the research shows. If your nervous system senses instability in a joint, it guards that joint by keeping the surrounding muscles permanently contracted. Stretching a guarded joint only gives you temporary relief because you have not fixed the underlying instability. The horse stance rebuilds that stability and tells your brain the joint is safe again. To do it, stand with your feet wider than shoulder width, toes turned slightly out, and slowly sink your hips as if sitting back onto a low chair, keeping your chest upright, spine tall, and knees gently tracking over your toes. Then hold completely still. In week 1, hold for 20 seconds. In week 2, build to 35 seconds, focusing on keeping your knees tracking outward. And by week 3, work up to a full 60-second hold, where you'll start to notice hip stiffness dropping significantly. Now that your hips have the stability foundation they need, there's a deeper problem most people completely ignore, and it is living silently in your lower back. Exercise 2 fixes that directly. The second hold targets the deep spinal stabilizers, the muscles that, in my experience reviewing patient cases, are almost always the real source of chronic lower back pain that gets misdiagnosed as a flexibility issue. Most people keep stretching and doing sit-up variations, hoping something will change, but the actual problem is that the deep core muscles, your transverse abdominis and multifidus, have stopped firing properly due to pain or inactivity. In plain terms, your spine's internal support system has gone offline. When that happens, your spine absorbs forces it was never built to handle, and no amount of stretching brings those muscles back online. This hold reactivates them under tension without any movement, which is exactly how they function in real life. To do it, lie on your back, press your lower back firmly into the floor, tighten your glutes, draw your navel gently inward, lift your legs a few inches off the ground, reach your arms straight overhead, and hold everything still. The rule is simple. The moment your lower back lifts off the floor, stop and reset, because that means the wrong muscles are working. In week 1, bend your knees and hold for 15 seconds. In week 2, extend one leg and hold for 20 seconds. By week 3, work toward the full hold with both legs straight for 30 seconds. Stay with me for exercise 3 because the wall sit variation I am about to show you is genuinely different from every version you have seen online, and it is the only one specifically structured to be safe for damaged or degraded cartilage. Most versions people do are actually making the problem worse without realizing it, and I will explain exactly why in the next 60 seconds. The final hold builds raw leg power while removing every impact force that normally damages the knee joint. When knees start aching, most of us either stop training legs entirely or keep squatting through pain hoping it passes, and you have probably been told to just rest it. But cartilage inside your knee has almost no blood supply. It depends on controlled compression and release to receive nutrients, and heavy dynamic loading through a degraded joint accelerates cartilage breakdown rather than healing it. That is the piece most trainers miss. The wall sit eliminates all impact while still generating the quad and glute tension your joints genuinely need to stay supported. Here's how to do it properly. Stand with your back flat against a wall. Walk your feet forward until your knees are at roughly a 90-degree angle. Press through both heels evenly and hold. You should feel a deep burn through your thighs and nothing sharp in the kneecap. If you feel sharp pain, raise your position slightly until it disappears. You're not broken. Your loading pattern just needs to change. In week 1, hold for 20 seconds. In week 2, build to 35 seconds while actively pressing your heels into the floor throughout. And by week 3, work up to a full 60-second hold. Thigh burn is completely normal. Sharp knee pain is your signal to adjust. These 3 holds work because they address the actual mechanism behind strength loss after 50, which is not your muscles, but your nervous system's ability to activate them under load. As a pharmacist and someone who works with this age group every single day, I can tell you that the people who recover their strength and stay mobile into their 60s and 70s are not the ones doing the most. They are the ones doing the right things consistently. You do not need a gym, you do not need equipment, and you are not too far gone. You need consistent tension, intelligent progression, and the patience to let your nervous system rewire itself. That is what Shaolin training has always understood, and what the research is now confirming. Pick the hold that feels most challenging for you today and start with just that one. Save this video so you have the progression plan with you each week. And before you go, comment the word strong below. I personally track which holds people are struggling with most, and I am building the follow-up video based entirely on your responses. So your comment directly shapes what comes next on this channel.